So we have an election next week. I thought I would create a quick PowerPoint in order to give a preview of the election. And if you stay tuned for the whole thing, there'll be some extra credit at the end. So you see there, I'm holding the actual ballot. It's kind of big. And I voted already. I'm one of 58 million Americans who've already voted. That's about the same number of people who voted early in 2016. So what's interesting is that the expectation is that the number of people who vote before Election Day might grow to as many as 100 million people. In 2016, about 138 million people voted total. The estimate this year is that maybe 65% of eligible voters, or 165 million people, will vote. There's a lot of interest in this year's election. So you saw me holding that ballot. If you're a really strong Democrat or a really strong Republican or a Libertarian or others, if you want, you can vote a straight party ticket. This is in the upper left-hand corner of the ballot, and I'll show that here in just a minute. But if you fill in that bubble, I mean, it's just basically like a Scantron sheet, for taking standardized tests. If you fill in that bubble, let's just say for the Republican Party, you don't have to fill out you don't have to vote for each person individually. You could just do this really quickly, or a Democrat or Green Party or whatever party you may prefer. So here you see page 1 of the ballot. And in the left-hand side, you've got the straight party ticket, and then you've got the presidency. Notice that there's more names other than Donald Trump and Joe Biden. In order to get your name on the ballot, you need a certain number of signatures, and several people were able to do so. And then after that, you've got the U.S. Senators. And then something kind of interesting with Michigan is that we elect the State Board of Education for the University of Michigan, Michigan State, as well as for Wayne State University. On the right, you see kind of the bottom part of the ballot. And so there's congressional seats, Senate seats, state legislature, as well as county positions as well. I happen to live in Mason County, and so you can see some of those examples there from the other ballot. One other thing is that we also elect our judges. And so on the left, you see the Justice of the Supreme Court, and you want to vote for 2 of those. There are some other positions as well. And then there's some ballot proposals. And so these are just some examples of different things that will be on the ballot. Oh, by the way, you may have, you could vote for a community college, a West Shore Community College Board of Trustee member, and you may even have some local school board positions as well. Just kind of depends upon where you live and what's on the ballot for your particular area. So I thought I would talk a little bit more about the judge positions. There are 2 vacancies, or 2 positions, I guess, up for election or re-election this year. And in the state of Michigan, the way it works is that the political parties nominate candidates for the Supreme Court, but their political affiliation does not appear on the ballot. So even if you fill out the partisan ballot, you would still need to vote for the Michigan Supreme Court justices. And so just to let you know, the Democrats have nominated 2 people. That's Mary Kelly and Bridget Mary McCormick, who's an incumbent. And then the Republicans have only nominated 1, and that's Brock Swartzel. Other political parties have nominated people. So one other thing I just want to say is if you don't feel comfortable filling out part of your ballot, like you want to leave it blank, it's totally fine to do so. If what you want to do is just to vote for president, you can do that. And then you can leave the rest of it blank if that's what you want to do. So it's up to you. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the polls. As of yesterday, or as of the 26th of October, Joe Biden is favored to win the election. And according to 538, which is a really good website, they give Biden a chance of basically 87% chance. And what they're predicting is that there's a very good chance that Biden would win as many as 344 electoral votes. However, those polls are not always accurate. The polls are simply just a prediction of what could happen. So that's why on the previous one, it said, there was a 87% chance of Biden winning. So the polls last year or 4 years ago predicted that Hillary Clinton would win. So anyway, another really good website is shown here. This is from realclearpolitics.com. And so you may want to go and look at some things. So Real Clear Politics is saying that clearly Biden will win at least 232 electoral votes, and Trump will win at least 125. That there are several states that are so-called toss-ups. It's too close to tell. And so on the right, if they say, well, this is our prediction, this is what we think, it's very similar to 538. Now, I touched on this just a little bit, but back in 2016, 538 and RealClearPolitics.com both believed or both predicted that Clinton would win. However, they clearly were wrong. One other thing that I wanted to point out is that we may not know the winner of the election for a few days after the election. And by the way, that is absolutely nothing new. We're in an instant gratification world these days, but usually you have to wait some time. And so in 2016, here you can see just a caption. Florida was too close to call for quite a while. And I'll also give you another example here in a sec. The race in Michigan in 2016 was the closest in the nation. And what's interesting here is that in the end, Donald Trump did win the state of Michigan by a very small margin. And you can see those figures there. But election day was November 11th, or excuse me, November 8th. Michigan was called for Trump by the Detroit Free Press, a media outlet, on the 24th, so 16 days later. And actually, Donald Trump was not named the official winner by the Michigan Board of Canvassers until November 28th. So 20 days after the election. So, this is very typical that you don't get results the night of the election if the race is really close. One other factor that may slow things down this year is that a lot of people are voting absentee. Well, it takes much longer to tally those, and so we may not know the winner, for several days after the election, if it's really close. As of right now, and I don't know that I'm necessarily put too much money on this, but Democrats are favored to win the United States Senate. Right now, Republicans have a slim majority. They have 53 Republicans in the Senate, and both 538 and Real Clear Politics are thinking that maybe the Democrats would regain control of the U.S. Senate. We'll see. One important Senate race that could impact the entire nation is the Senate race here in Michigan. The incumbent right now is Gary Peters. He's shown on the left. He's the Democrat. And John James is running against him as a Republican. He ran against Debbie Stabenow 2 years ago and really did quite well. And so we'll see what ends up happening. As of right now, Gary Peters is ahead in the polls, so to speak. But anyway, just to give you a bit of an example of what's going on here in Michigan. Democrats control or have a majority in the House of Representatives right now, and Democrats are clearly favored to retain control of the House. This is according to experts on, kind of all over, I guess you could say. Now, depending upon where you live, your congressman right now might be Jack Bergman or it might be Bill Huizenga. If you live in the northern part of Mason County or Manistee County, then Jack Bergman is your congressman and he's running against Dana Ferguson. And if you live in the southern part of Mason County and further south, your congressman right now is Bill Huizenga and he's running against Brian Berghoff. You can kind of see Michigan's congressional districts here. Michigan has 14 members of the House of Representatives. One representative represents all of the UP and then northern Michigan. And then if you see the second congressional district is kind of in the light blue there. And so that is where Bill Huizenga is the representative. He happens to be mine, although I live pretty close to the college. Jack Bergman is the congressman for the northern part of Mason County and where the college is actually located. So kind of interesting. Right now, Republicans control both the Michigan House of Representatives and the Michigan Senate by the figures that are shown here. It's possible that Democrats could take control, but it's an excellent question as to whether or not that could happen. And if you live in Mason or Manistee counties north, there's a race between Jack O'Malley, who's the incumbent, and Beth McGill, and they're shown here at the top. And then if you live in Lake, Oceana, or Newaygo counties, on the bottom you see Sandy Clark and Scott Van Single. Scott Van Single is the current Michigan State House representative. So here's your possible extra credit. You want to identify who's running for Michigan's 101st State House seat. That's Jack O'Malley versus Beth McGill Reiser. If you upload this information under the extra credit no later than Friday, October 30th by 11:59 p.m., you can receive 5 extra credit points to be added to your grade in discussion. So that was just a bit of an election preview. Good luck, and I hope you vote this year. So anyway, take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you online.